Students, in this video, I am going to discuss the convergence of Gauss-Jacobi and Gauss-Seidel method. To establish the condition for Gauss-Jacobi and Gauss-Seidel method, we will use the statement of last theorem, which we have already proved in the last video. So you can see last video. In that video basically, we have proved this theorem, which states that any iteration method of this form xk plus 1 is equal to txk plus c for the solution of ax is equal to b converges to the exact solution for any initial vector if norm of t is less than 1. That means if we have any iteration method of this form, then this method will converge for any initial vector. Either you can take 0 0 or any another choice, then that method always converges if norm of t is less than 1. So we will use this condition. Okay, so now we will use this condition to establish the convergence condition for Gauss-Jacobi and Gauss-Seidel method. Let's see. So here theorem is, if A is strictly diagonally dominant matrix, then the Jacobi iteration scheme converges for any initial starting vector. That means condition is that matrix A should be strictly diagonally dominant. Okay, so we have to prove that, basically what we have to prove, we have to prove that if Gauss-Jacobi method can be written in this form, then and matrix A is strictly diagonally dominant, then norm of t should be less than 1. Okay, so we have to basically correlate strictly diagonally dominance and norm of t less than 1. We have to establish that relation through this theorem. Let's see. So according to the Jacobi method, proof starts. So according to the Jacobi iteration scheme, we know that in Jacobi method is xk plus 1 is equal to minus d inverse L plus u xk plus d inverse b. Okay, so this was the scheme. Now we know that what is A? A is L plus d plus u. So here we have L plus u. So according to this, L plus u can be written as A minus d. So this L plus u is replaced by A minus d. So minus d inverse A minus d xk plus d inverse b. Now multiply by this A minus d by d inverse. So we get minus d inverse A minus minus becomes plus d inverse d. That means identity, which can be rewritten as I minus d inverse A. That means first we are writing d inverse d part, that is identity part, and then we are writing this part minus d inverse A xk plus d inverse b. Okay, so now when you compare this scheme with this general scheme, so what is your t? T is, this t is nothing but I minus d inverse A. So we have to prove that the iteration scheme will converges if norm of this t means I minus d inverse A is less than 1. We have to prove this. Okay, here what is given to you, that A is strictly diagonally dominant. Okay, so if A is strictly diagonally dominant, then we have to prove that this is less than 1. So let us start. So suppose A is the matrix Aij, and we have considered here 3 cross 3. Then we will generalize this for the n cross n. Okay, first we will find out what is I minus d inverse A. So I minus d inverse A is nothing but, this is identity matrix minus d inverse. D inverse is nothing but, for matrix A, D is nothing but the diagonal matrix. That means A11, A1, A22, A33 and so on. And since here we are talking about D inverse, so according to the property of inverse, D inverse will be nothing but 1 by A11, 1 by A22, 1 by A33 at the diagonal elements, and rest are 0 0 0. Then multiply by A is this matrix A11, A12, A13, A21, A22, A23, A31, A32, A33. This is matrix A. Fine. We have considered here 3 cross 3 case. Then we will generalize this for n cross n. Now multiply these two. So we get this matrix 1 A12 divided by A11, A13 divided by A11, A21 divided by A22, 1 A23 divided by A22, then A31 divided by A33, A32 divided by A33, and then 1. Now subtract this matrix from identity matrix. So what we will get? We will get this matrix. I minus D inverse A is 0 minus A12 divided by A11 minus A13 divided by A11 and so on. Now here, since we have to prove that norm of this matrix I minus D inverse A is less than 1. So let us take the row sum norm. We can take either absolute, column wise row, maximum row, or row wise row. So here we are taking absolute row sum norm. That means norm of I minus D inverse A is maximum of, now take the row wise sum, magnitude of this plus this is written here, comma, magnitude of this quantity and this quantity, second row, comma, magnitude of the elements in the third row. So magnitude of this quantity plus magnitude of this quantity. Okay. So in the first row you can see A11 is the common denominator. Similarly in the second row A22 is the common denominator. Similarly in the third row A33 is the common denominator. So maximum of 1 by magnitude of A11, this is magnitude of A12 plus A13, comma, similarly from the second entries magnitude of A22 multiply by norm magnitude of A21 plus a magnitude of A23, comma, from the third row magnitude of A33 multiply by this 1 by A33 is multiplied by magnitude of A31 plus magnitude of A32. That means in general this is maximum of summation of AII, magnitude of AIJ divided by magnitude of AII. Here j varies from 1 to 3 and j is not equals to I. Okay, because here we are not considering magnitude of A11 in the numerator part. Similarly here in numerator part we are not considering A22. That's why j is not equal to I and j varies from 1 to 3. Because here n is 3. Now for the generalization case this 3 is replaced by n. So maximum of 1 by AII summation of j from 1 to n magnitude of Aij. J is not equal to I. So this is the general case. Okay. So this is equation number 1. Now by the definition of strictly diagonally dominant, what is the definition? Definition says that magnitude of AII is strictly greater than summation of j from 1 to n magnitude of Aij. Here j is not equals to I. And this is valid for all I is equal to 1 to n. Okay, now divide this right hand part by this left hand side. So what we will get, this will come in the right hand part. So 1 by AII summation of magnitude of Aij, j from 1 to n, and j is not equal to I. This should be less than 1 for all I from 1 to n. Since for each I this quantity is less than 1, so obviously their maximum is also less than 1. So maximum of 1 by AII summation from j from 1 to n, j is not equal to I, magnitude of Aij is less than 1, and this is nothing but, if you will see equation number 1, this is nothing but this quantity, and this quantity is nothing but the left hand side. So we can replace this by norm of I minus D inverse A, and this is less than 1. Okay, thus we can say that Jacobi method converges if A is strictly diagonally dominant. So this is the theorem. Okay, so this is the theorem for Jacobi method. Now the second theorem for Gauss-Seidel method. So if A is strictly diagonally dominant matrix, then the Gauss-Seidel iteration scheme converges for any initial starting vector. Okay, so here we have to again prove that if we are applying Gauss-Seidel method, then again if matrix A is strictly diagonally dominant, then method converges. Okay, so let us start. So the Gauss-Seidel iteration scheme is given by this matrix. Xk plus 1 is minus D plus L inverse Uxk plus D plus L inverse B. Okay. Again, here, this U can, because we know that what is A is equals to this lower triangular plus diagonal plus upper. So from here, upper triangular means what? A minus L minus D. So this U is replaced by A minus D minus L. So minus D plus L inverse A minus D plus L xk plus D plus L inverse B. Multiply now this matrix by D plus L inverse. So we get minus, so this matrix is first multiply by my A, so we get this quantity, and when this is multiplied by here, so minus minus becomes plus, and this into this vehicle nothing but the identity. So I minus this matrix, which is this, multiply by xk plus D plus L inverse B. So this is your T. This is your T. What is given to you? Matrix A is strictly diagonally dominant. So now we have to prove that this matrix T having norm less than 1. Okay, that means here we are using the spectral norm. So rho of I plus minus D plus L inverse A should be less than 1. Spectral norm. This is spectral norm. That means the largest eigenvalue of this matrix should be less than 1. We have to prove this. कि जो भी लार्जेस्ट आइगन वैल्यू होगी इस मैट्रिक्स की वो लेस देन 1 होगी. हमने स्पेक्ट्रल नॉर्म का इस्तेमाल किया है. ओके, सो लेट अस स्टार्ट. फर्स्ट फाइंड आउट द आइगन वैल्यू ऑफ दिस. So here matrix is I minus D plus L inverse A. By the definition of eigenvalues, suppose lambda is the eigenvalue and x is the eigenvector corresponding, then this matrix multiply by the eigenvector x is equal to lambda x by the definition of eigenvalue. So here now you can multiply both sides by D plus L. D plus L से दोनों साइड को multiply किया. So when you multiply here, so we get D plus L minus here when you multiply, so this will become identity into A. So we get only A. X से फिर multiply किया, so X into X is equal to lambda D plus LX. Okay, दोनों साइड में D plus L से multiply किया, so we get this. So now here D plus L, just like here D plus L minus A करेंगे. So we get minus U. So here in the left hand part we get basically D plus L x minus AX. This will give you minus UX is equal to lambda into D plus LX. Okay, so again we will take 3 by 3 case. So what is UX? UX is nothing but minus this minus UX. U means upper triangular matrix 0 A12 A13. डायगोनल और उसके नीचे की एंट्री सब जीरो हो जाएंगी. So 0 A12 A13 0 0 A23 0 0 0 x1 x2 x3. This is the left hand part is equal to lambda D plus L diagonal plus lower triangular matrix. So this is diagonal and lower triangular matrix. That means A11 0 0 A21 A22 0 A31 A32 A33 multiply by x1 x2 x3. Okay, when you multiply, left hand side will give you minus A12 x2 plus A13 x3 A23 x3 then 0 is equal to lambda times, when you multiply these two we will get A11 x1 A21 x1 A22 x2 A31 x1 plus A32 x2 plus A33 x3. Okay, in general we can write down the first, concentrate on the right hand part. Here first row is A11 x1. In second row we are having, देखो first row का means I is 1 here and j varies from 1 to 1. Here I is 2 in both these 2 2 and j varies from 1 and 2, and the third quantity will come in the right hand part. Similarly here third row, that means 3 3 3 and j varies from 1 2 and 3. So that's why we can write down this as, this quantity can be written as minus summation j from I plus 1 to 3 aij xj is equal to lambda summation j from 1 to I aij xj. For example, when you are talking about the first row, In first row, your I is 1. So put I is equal to 1 here. So j varies from 1 to 1. And hence we are getting only A11X1, this quantity. In the right hand side, your j starts from I plus 1. In first row, I is 1. So that's why j starts from 2. So j starts from 2 to 3. And hence I is 1. I तो हमारा 1 है फर्स्ट रो में. So that's why this will cover these two quantities. तो हमारा j I चलेगा 1 और j चलेगा 2 to 3. So that's why A12X2 plus A13X3. Similarly for the second row, I will be 2. Then we will, in the right hand side we will get this, and in the left hand side we will get only this. Okay. So in general, this 3 is replaced by n. This 3 is replaced by n. So we get minus summation j from I plus 1 to n aij xj is equal to lambda times summation j from 1 to I aij xj. Okay. Then here in the right hand side you will see that here we will take this I part separate. That means j from 1 to I minus 1 plus ith part separate. तो हमने इसको ith part को separate कर लिया. So here minus j from I plus 1 to n aij xj is equals to lambda times summation j from 1 to I minus 1 aij xj plus lambda times aii xi. ये है वो ith part separate कर दिया हमने. ठीक. Then what we can do, we can take this in the right hand part और इसको हम ले गए left hand side में, इसको इधर ले गए. So minus this part minus lambda times this part. Okay. Then take the magnitude of both sides. So magnitude of lambda aii xi is equal to magnitude of this left and right hand part. Okay. Then here we will apply the property of magnitude. So magnitude of lambda into magnitude of aii into magnitude of axi is less than equal to, here apply the triangle inequality. So magnitude of this part, that means this, plus magnitude of the second part. Again apply the property of magnitude. So this is less than equal to summation j from I plus 1 to n, then magnitude of this quantity, magnitude of aij into magnitude of xj, plus from this second quantity again apply the property of magnitude or apply triangle inequality simultaneously. So this is nothing but magnitude of this lambda summation j from 1 to I minus 1 magnitude of aij into magnitude of xj. This is equation number 1. Now since x is an eigenvector, so obviously x is non-zero. So without loss of generality, we assume that the norm of x infinite is equal to 1. What is the meaning of norm of x infinite equal to 1? Norm of x infinite means nothing but the maximum of xi is from I from 1 to n is 1. हमने मान लिया कि इस वेक्टर में कोई एक ith पोजीशन पे कोई क्वांटिटी 1 जरूर होगी, मैक्सिमम क्वांटिटी, बिकॉज दिस इज अ वेक्टर क्वांटिटी. तो इसका हमने मान लिया कि एक्स में जो लार्जेस्ट वैल्यू है वो 1 होगी, बाकी 1 से कम होंगी. इसका मतलब ये है. ओके. दैट मीन्स देयर एग्जिस्ट सम element at xi position whose values will be 1 and rest will be less than equal to 1. यानी ith पे जो लार्जेस्ट वैल्यू होगी वो 1 होगी, बाकी सब क्वांटिटीज का जो मैग्नीट्यूड होगा वो लेस देन 1 होगा. दिस इज द मीनिंग ऑफ दिस क्वांटिटी. ओके. दिस इज वैलिड फॉर ऑल j नॉट इक्वल टू i. हमने मान लिया. अगर बड़ा भी होगा तो भी उसको नॉर्मलाइज किया जा सकता है. लार्जेस्ट क्वांटिटी से आप डिवाइड कर लेंगे पूरे वेक्टर को, तो सारी क्वांटिटी 1 से छोटी हो जाएंगी. So that will be valid. So that's why we have assumed this. Now based on this xi is replaced by 1 and rest norm of xj, norm of xj, they will be replaced by less than 1. So here this left hand quantity is replaced by 1, so we get this quantity which is less than equal to this, because this is replaced by less than 1. This is also replaced by less than 1. So we get less than equal to summation of j from I plus 1 to n magnitude of aij plus magnitude of lambda summation j from 1 to I minus 1 magnitude of aij. Fine. Now here this quantity will be taken in the left hand side. Here is magnitude of lambda, here is magnitude of lambda, so you can take lambda common. So magnitude of AII minus summation from j from 1 to I minus 1 magnitude of Aij. This is less than equal to this quantity. So now take lambda in the left hand side and divide right hand part by this bracket quantity. So magnitude of lambda is less than equal to this quantity. This is divided by this bracket quantity. Magnitude of AII minus summation j from 1 I minus 1 to Aij. This is number 2. Now since A is strictly diagonally dominant, then obviously by the definition magnitude of AII will be greater than summation j from 1 to n magnitude of Aij, where j is not equal to I. Okay, this can be written as this quantity. क्योंकि यहाँ j नॉट इक्वल टू आई है, इसका मतलब j की वैल्यू 1 टू i माइनस 1 जाएगी, फिर i प्लस 1 से n तक जाएगी. ith j इक्वल टू i जो है वो कंसिडर नहीं होगा. हैंस इसको हम दो हिस्सों में ब्रेक कर सकते हैं. वन फ्रॉम j इक्वल टू 1 टू i माइनस 1, सेकेंड i प्लस 1 टू n. तो हमने इसको लिख दिया दो हिस्सों में. मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ AII इज ग्रेटर देन समेशन ऑफ j from 1 to I minus 1 magnitude of Aij plus summation j from I plus 1 to n. So that's why we have not considered j is equal to I part, because here j is not equal to I. Fine. So now we will take this part in the left hand side. So magnitude of AII minus summation j from 1 I minus 1 j equal to 1 to I minus 1 magnitude of Aij, this will be greater than equal to this quantity. Now when you divide this quantity by left hand side, so what we will get, summation of j from I plus 1 to n Aij divided by summation of AII minus summation from j from 1 to I minus 1 Aij is less than 1. And you can see this both are same quantity, this quantity and this quantity both are same. Hence we can say that magnitude of lambda will be less than 1 due to this. And we know that this is nothing but the spectral norm. That means what? Spectral norm, the largest eigenvalue will be, क्योंकि हमने तो randomly pick किया लैम्डा, यानी हर लैम्डा लेस देन 1 है, इसका मतलब लार्जेस्ट आइगन वैल्यू भी लैम्डा लेस देन 1 होगी. Hence spectral norm rho of I minus d plus L inverse A, this is also less than 1. सारी आइगन वैल्यू क्योंकि लेस देन 1 है तो लार्जेस्ट आइगन वैल्यू भी लेस देन 1 ही होगी, which is nothing but the rho of I minus d plus L inverse A less than 1. So this is the theorem. So okay, so this is the condition for the Gauss-Seidel method. So दोनों तरह की मेथड्स के लिए हमने प्रूफ कर दिया कि अगर दोनों मैट्रिसेस, दोनों केस में आपका जो मैट्रिक्स A है वो स्ट्रिक्टली डायगोनली डोमिनेंट होना चाहिए. फाइन. सो दिस इज प्रूफ. So this is we can say that your the unit for numerical solution of linear system of linear equations is over. Now from the next class we will discuss about the interpolation. Okay, thank you.